Okay, so looking at these two teams here, we got Lamar Jackson fan club versus the Big Schmeat gang. I'm not familiar with the left team or the right team actually very much. I only know a few players, and it seems like we're just gonna get right into the bands. Cassidy band, probably for that Casaroma. He plays that champion a lot. And Yogiza's Rengar getting banned out. He's pretty strong on that champion as well.
Like we had a Syndra ban coming out. Looks like they're really targeting this mid lane here. The Kassadin ban I'm a little hesitant on. I don't think Kassadin's in a very strong state right now, but we did see in last night's game, we did see Conqueror pull off a quadra kill on it, so he may be a lot better than what people are letting him out to be. Diana now getting banned. Looks like they're really targeting this mid lane over here. Three bans now towards the mid lane.
Yeah, that's actually quite surprising considering they have a Diamond ADC there, and then they throw a ban at the jungler banning Hecarim.
Hecarim's a really strong champion right now. I think that's a really smart ban.
Yeah, for sure. Especially considering that Yogiza plays a lot of assassins, I don't know how well they would play into a Hecarim.
Yeah, I think Hecarim's one of those champions that if he gets a small lead, even against assassins, he'll just start taking all their camps and abusing them in their own jungle, basically just not letting them play the game. So yeah. I think if you're BSG, Big Schmeat gang, you're really wanting to make sure that if you're going to try to play an assassin, that you do not let their jungler completely just snowball the game and take everything from you.
Yeah, for sure. And looking like a first pick Wukong, that's a flex pick that can be played in 3 different lanes, depending on what they want to do with it. And I just want to mention the Jim ban really quick. That Jim is a pretty strong ADC, so I think that's a good ban. And they actually picked Mordekaiser instead, so that's probably going top.
Yeah, I believe he is going top lane. I think Mordekaiser's a really smart pick here. Even blind, Mordekaiser doesn't really have very many bad matchups and is very strong at objective control. Amumu now getting locked in from Big Schmeat gang. Amumu, arguably one of the strongest champions in the game right now, and Samira. This is a scary comp already.
Well, Mumu rocking, a 59% win rate right now in the jungle, and then Samira probably one of the strongest ADCs if she's paired up with any decent support.
Absolutely. Any ADC right now, I think crit is just in a really bad spot, so every ADC that doesn't rely on crit to do the majority of their damage and relies mostly on their kit or on hit or things like that, I think those are the best options for you. And we got Ezreal being locked in here from Lamar Jackson fan club. Really smart pick into Samira. It's pretty safe, but it is a very high skill cap champion, so we'll have to see how well this ADC here does on the Ezreal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the Ezreal pick a lot here into Samira because Samira can snowball lane pretty hard, so playing a safer champion is definitely the call here because I can't really think of an ADC right now who could match her.
Oh, and seeing the Vayne here getting locked in. Very interesting. Is this possibly a Vayne mid lane that we're seeing, or Ezreal mid?
Wow, that's actually a very interesting choice picking 2 ADCs here. I don't really... Even the enemy team's questioning in chat. No. Okay, yeah, that Vayne's supposed to be...
was a mistake. Gotcha.
Kane.
Okay.
One of Amumu's only counters, I believe. Kane is also a very strong place right now. I think like top 5 champion, maybe top 10 if you look at just win rates.
And Lux being the last pick here from Big Schmeat gang. Lux, a little bit interesting. Could be going mid lane. I don't see Lux being the best pairing with Samira. I feel like if it is a support Lux, you really want to have something with more of an engaged tool for Samira to follow up on. But against Ezreal, maybe Lux is a strong pick against that. But yeah, you're right. With Kane being locked in the jungle for Lamar Jackson fan club, that is a very scary pick against Amumu. Because Kane can solo kill Amumu in his jungle if he has the lane prio to invade. So very important that they play around strong vision here.
For sure. That was a Morgana ban that just went through.
Okay, so we got the Morg being banned. Interesting.
I really think that's a Lux support the more I think about it. I don't really see Casaroma playing Lux mid, and I don't know how strong Lux is, but I feel like Lux mid is just not the best choice. Even though that Samira and Lux don't have the best synergy, mid might not even be looking for a kill lane right here.
I 100% agree. I feel like Lux, even if it was to go mid, blind picking it is just not the right move. So we got Urgot being banned out here. Urgot, very strong champion, very popular pick into Mordekaiser too, because Urgot can get through lane phase without getting completely bullied.
Yeah, for sure. Urgot is just a really strong champion all around, especially with that execute. That's a Yone ban that went through. Cool.
Gotcha. So the Yone being banned, as well as I believe it was Morgana. Interesting how they're divvying up their bans here in the second phase. They're just still throwing one ban at each. Darius getting banned. Very, very interesting. Banning out the Darius. I don't think Darius is the smartest ban here. Even into Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser can do fairly well against Darius, and Darius himself is in a weaker spot. I would have liked them to have banned out possibly a tank here. And Kled getting locked in from Big Schmeat Gang. Wow, Kled actually a crazy strong pick right now in the top lane. Has very few weak matchups. And Yasuo getting locked in from Lamar Jackson Fan Club. We are in for a treat tonight.
Yep, for sure. I think they're saving mid for that last pick, which is going to be quite interesting. The other team last pick support going for Rakan, which is kind of strange. Going after a Rakan, you have a really like pretty engaged heavy support with a really safe laid back ADC. I don't really know how that lane's going to go.
Yeah, I agree. Very interesting. I can see the Rakan having synergy with Yasuo if Ezreal decides to go mid and they decide to go Yasuo Rakan bot
That's
lane.
a Renekton mid. Renekton mid is pretty good right now. Believe it or not, really good into a lot of mid laners, and I feel like into Yasuo will actually be pretty strong.
Yeah, looks like Big Schmeat Gang was really they were 100% prepared here for the Yasuo pick. Renekton is arguably the best counter pick into Yasuo, especially with Empowered W, does shred all shields. So Yasuo really needs to play this lane safe and not look to get too aggressive without any jungle help.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at both these teams, I believe both captains are in the mid lane. So I think that's actually going to be a pretty interesting matchup, considering that fact, because mid laners usually don't shot call, at least from what I've seen. So
yeah, the lane I think we definitely need to look at. Well, yes, Yasuo or Renekton, that is a hard counter matchup. I think this top lane, the Mordekaiser and the Kled, I think that lane is going to be what determines who wins this, because if Mordekaiser does end up pulling through and winning that lane, Mordekaiser will be very fearsome for anybody going against him. And likewise, if Kled wins that lane, Kled's ultimate engage will provide a lot of utility in team fights, especially with locking down those very mobile targets in the Ezreal and the Yasuo.
yeah, but even if the Mordekaiser doesn't do too well in lane, he can always ult the Kled and take him out of the team fight. So personally, I think the jungle is going to be a little more important to watch, considering that like Kayn and Amumu are such strong champions by themselves, and these junglers are pretty good if I do remember their ranks correctly. And just the amount of pressure they'll be putting on around the entire map. If they're not punished correctly, I think that either one of them can steamroll the game pretty hard without a lot of counterplay.
Alrighty, so it looks like we are almost done with everybody locking in here. Only a few more picks that they really need to do. What do you think is the win condition here for Lamar Jackson Fan Club?
I think the bot lane has to play pretty safe. They have to be careful. Getting a Samara ahead would really jeopardize the entire team. I think Kayn is definitely their win con. I think their jungler, if they play well, can just carry them if he ganks correctly. He applies good map pressure, gets those objectives.
Gotcha. And likewise, looking at Big Schmeat Gang, what do you think their win condition is for this game?
Honestly, I think they have a lot of like strong lanes, and those lanes just need a win. Because Renekton into Yasuo, Renekton favored. Kled's really strong, how you mentioned earlier. I think Kled probably beats Mordekaiser, and then Samara, Lux, while it doesn't have the best synergy, are both really strong champions by themselves.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the Lux might have been more of a comfort pick rather than them looking for a synergy in the bot lane. Both players trying to get something that they feel like they can play well right now. Who would you say has won the draft here?
I feel like both teams have a good draft. For some reason, I am leaning towards BSG just a little, because I feel like with Samara and Clad being there, they're just like really strong picks. And with like that Amumu engage, like I just really think they're gonna run the team fights.
I 100% agree. Amumu being very strong in the meta right now, well, I would say he's one of those champions that he enables his laners to carry. He's not 1v9 himself. He does have I would argue all of his lanes have winning matchups. I think that this game, so long as these lanes go how they should, Amumu's going to be able to snowball this game by just taking every single objective and having Prio in every lane.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I actually just was thinking about want to talk about is that I think that Lux pick actually is really going to bite them in the back because Lux is like a really immobile champion. So if that Kayn is targeting bot lane a lot, while Samara will probably be able to escape, like her win wall won't do anything. And I feel like they'll probably be able to get on top of that Lux with that Rakan there to CC for the jungler. I think that's actually something we should watch out for. I think that's might be a lane he might be watching.
Absolutely. Kayn definitely needs to focus on playing around this bottom lane and trying to dragon stack as quickly as possible and just making sure that his bot lane always has the prio for it.
Which is going to be hard with Ezreal Rakan against a Samara and Lux. So the jungler is really going to be helping the bot lane. Well, Mumu, like we said earlier, as winning lanes can really be anywhere.
Alrighty, so it looks like we are now loading into game, so we will be right back in about 3 minutes. Alrighty, and we are now loaded into the game. Let's see here. What time do you have?
My match is not loading yet, but just keep going.
Alrighty. So it does look like red side might be possibly looking at an invade here. Big Schmeat gang walking up. Rakan having to now walk away from Tribush, getting out. And they're calling this one out. Kane now looked like he's just going to try to vertical jungle here and go take their top side red.
Alright, I'm loading it right now. I'm just catching up. I'm at 102, 103, 104,
105. Yep. Alright, we're good. Alrighty. So it looks like Big Schmeat gang is backing off here from the bot side red. Kane did, however, get a ward on the top side red. So very interesting here. They went for the invade, but ended up backing out of it.
This Amumu's gonna get super caught out. Walking up there by himself is super dangerous. Now, is he going for a steal on the red?
I think he is, and I don't think this is the play.
Oh, I don't think this is the play at all.
Take the 3-3 here. Kane does get the red buff. Kane now just getting out, and I think that was just straight trolling right there. Amumu's now going to be very far behind on his clear, while Kane is now off to a good head start.
Yeah, and the lead they have and all the advantages they had are about to get thrown away. Amumu's not going to be able to apply the pressure in those lanes. Now he's going to be so far behind.
Absolutely. It looked like we're getting a little bit of trading coming out of the top side here. I think that trade right there favors the Kled, however. Looking like...
I agree with that. Kane invading here is a really good call. He already knows Amumu's behind. Amumu hasn't even taken the blue buff yet. Oh, action bot lane Rakan flash.
Looks like the Ignite was burned from Ryoga. This is going to be an interesting game. Rakan now flashless and very low. Amumu just now leaving his wolves, heading towards his top side clear. Renekton kind of roaming over, making sure that Kane can't take any more, but Kane did get away with the Raptors there.
Yeah, and Amumu had to leave the wolves and Gromp unclear, so unless he walks back over that side, his first back's going to be really lacking.
I wouldn't be surprised if at first scuttle, Amumu is still not level 3.
I don't think, no, he won't be. Because that red buff is not going to get him to level 3.
Now, Yasuo just needs to make sure that he doesn't die here and has lone prio, so Kane can get double scuttle, and Kane should be able to start snowballing this game very early on. Yugiza off to a really strong start here.
There was a 2-level difference in the mid, now there's just one from that Renekton having to roam earlier to stop Yogiza from taking the red buff.
Yeah, and it looks like we got Intensify here, just constantly going to be harassing these guys down here on the bot side, shoving them in. They do not want to give them any room to breathe.
Well, yeah, they know where the jungle is. It makes sense for them to do this. They have the stronger kill lane.
Attention, Kane's looking like he's wanting to invade again. I think this isn't the smart play. I think he should just be going to bot side scuttle. Amumu might be able to actually grab this one here before Kane can get there.
Yeah, his bot lane has prio and mid is kind of even, but it doesn't matter. Kane's not even going to be there in time. But Amumu instead is just going to take wolves. He's not even going to risk it.
Yeah, I think Amumu might actually think that the bottom side scuttle's already gone.
Yeah, he did not see Kane is not being seen for a second, so it only makes sense to assume such a thing. Rakan caught again, getting a decent chunk out of him.
Mordekaiser here possibly going to knock him off Scarl, and he does. That is big. If Mordekaiser can keep up this kind of harassment here, he might actually be able to get out of this lane's phase ahead.
And Amumu gets a Scuttle Crab. Yogiza not even going towards, instead opting for the Krug's take. And he's going to help that bot lane right now, going for a gank. They have no vision. They don't know it's coming, but they have all sums up besides Ignite.
One thing to watch here will be to see if Amumu tries to counter gank here. Renekton looked like he started roaming bot side, but Kane instantly backing off, and Renekton just staying back in lane. Some big damage coming out, and Flash out of Grandmaster in the top lane. Go now player, really showing that he knows how to play this Mordekaiser well. Grandmaster maybe not being the most comfortable here on Kled.
Yeah, looking like the case as he is pretty far behind right now. Not in terms just of like the trading that's been going on, but he's about to get back his buddy. I can't remember the name of him. Either way, though, I think it's quite surprising that the Mordekaiser is winning the matchup right now.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Mordekaiser, I mean, especially against Kled. Kled very much likes to fight a lot early. That's where Kled thrives. He is very strong at dueling. And the fact that this Mordekaiser is pushing him around, showing him who's boss, I think that right now we're seeing, like, it's foreshadowing that Mordekaiser's going to end up getting out of this lane phase pretty safe unless Amumu can do something about it. Kane not being as aggressive as I'd like. I really want him to try to invade a lot more on this Amumu. He knew that he put him behind. Looks like he is going for an invade, though, on this top side. Spots him out with the Squire's Orb. Now he's just looking to back.
Yeah, his mid's not there, so that's actually the safe call because Renekton would get there before the Mordekaiser and Kled using TP. Kled top lane has no sums now. If Kane didn't back and he stayed there,
Samira going in here. Samira getting first blood. Samira looking for blood here, going for the double. She will not be able to get it.
Almost turned it around and got the kill on Samira instead.
And that is scary. Ezreal, no sums now. Rakan, no ignite. And in exchange, Samira used exhaust. Kane here, though, looking for a gank on this Lux. Kane's going in. Lux is trying to get out of this. I think Kane's just going to get the kill here. Yeah, oh, flash out of Lux. Flash follows from the Kane.
And the Q, yeah. Alright. Looks like a little skirmish top lane now, too. Wow, that Kled just half health that Mordecai. Guy's out of nowhere. Oh, Mumu's bot lane, but yeah, it just looks like everything's backing off, and Rakan's up now, so they're going bot again. The Samira kind of overstaying, I think. She still has flash, so, oh, yeah.
Well, Samira now having to flash out. Mordekaiser trying to fight this Kled. This is not the play here. And Kled just getting out with plenty of health. Mordekaiser probably going to be forced to back here.
I wonder if they're going to go for the drag here because Mumu's behind. Bot lane had the back. Kled has no TP.
Renekton looking to fight this Yasuo here. Yasuo burning the cleanse. Wow. Looks like Kane is possibly trying to set up for this dragon here. Rakan's rotating to it. Mumu's over on the ramp right now.
I think that Kane could have soloed that drag, but I don't see them taking it now. Ezreal's not here and Samira is. It's just too risky.
Okay, Mordekaiser pulling him into his realm.
Oh.
Kled is now fighting, trying to fight for his life, but I think that's a solo kill. Go now, player. Getting the first kill in the top lane here.
And the first kill for, not the first kill, never mind. I mixed up the teams.
It's all good. Renekton just kind of zoning off a little bit here with the Amumu. It looks like they're just going to try to jump on this dragon now and just start it. Kane probably not going to be able to contest this. Ezreal just returning back to lane, and Renekton's just kind of walking around zoning everybody off.
And are they going for the Raphael trade at least? Doesn't look like it. The Mord is walking down. He's just putting a controller in the bush and backing off.
Mumu getting very low from that dragon, but still safe because he got his whole team around there. Samira going in, intensifies, trying to get some damage down here, but getting chunked himself. Looks like Renekton's just going to possibly clear out some vision from the pit here and probably try to return to mid lane. Yasuo pinging for this fight here, though. And it looks like they're just not going to take it here. Kane just looking to clear his top side now. Yasuo just trying to push out this mid lane, possibly wanting to get a back off here. And we got Mordekaiser just pushing in the top lane still. One thing to note, Mordekaiser is down 22 CS right now into the Kled, despite having a kill advantage. So I would argue that the gold is actually pretty even right now in this top lane.
One thing I want to mention is that the Kane was actually behind about 10 CS a couple of seconds ago on the Amumu, even though Amumu didn't get his first camp leash and got his raptor stolen earlier. So the Amumu got that farm difference pretty quickly.
Looks like Kled's going in to fight Go Now player here, getting a pretty good trade-off here. Kane now jumping in on Castroma. The ult out of Amumu, Castroma getting the kill. Yasuo just trying to get out of here now. He might be in trouble.
No, I think he gets out.
He will get out. Wow. That's just a great play there from the Amumu. Just being in the right place at the right time. setting up the play for Castoroma to get the kill on the Renekton. Castoroma now going for the dive. Looks like he will be able to get this. Does he get out? He does with the flash.
Even though the Yasuo is dead, he still got hit by the ult.
Wow. That, I have never seen that happen before. I'm curious if that's how it's intended or if that was just a bug. But it did force the flash out of Castoroma, so very unfortunate for him despite getting the kill there.
That was, I think, had to be a bug. There's no way that's an intended mechanic. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, very, very, very strange. Mumu does get the Scuttle Crab. Looks like he is pinging for the ward in River. Yogiza really needs to start punishing this Mumu when he's spotting him on vision here. And it looks like Intensify and Ryoga still shoving in this bot lane here. It does look like he has like barely any CS lead here, but he does have the kill advantage right now.
I mean, if you look at vision from red team versus blue team, red team has way stronger vision throughout the river and the enemy jungle on the bot side. It looks like they might be collapsing bot now.
It looks like they might have pinged it off. Kane might have noticed that the Renekton was roaming down, or maybe Yasuo might have pinged it out. I think that they could have still gone for that play, though, with Yasuo rotating down. Amumu's soloing the Herald right here. So even though nothing happens in the boss side, Amumu making sure that he's taking an advantage of knowing where Kane is and getting resources on top side. Rakan going in with the ultimate. Kane now jumping in here. Lux will go down like you had mentioned before. And Samir popping the ultimate. Samir might be in trouble here now.
Yep.
And Samir's dead.
That's really good for them. They're kind of getting the kill is not the best, but just making that bot lane reset.
Yeah, especially since they did try to go for that initially and were spotted out and having to back off that play. Mumu does get the Rift Herald, and it looks like they're going to trade that Rift Herald for 2 kills and a tower plate or 2.
And Mumu's invading right now. He's going to get Wolves and probably Gromp. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't.
Okay, we got Punchable Woman now getting caught out here from Castoroma. Castoroma getting the kill. He's now on a killing spree. 3-0 start for him.
Wow. I did mention that I thought the Renekton would be running the show, but I thought he would be destroying the Yasuo. Instead, he's just getting kills everywhere on the map.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good testament to just how well he plays mid lane. Being able to roam, make these plays, and his jungler just being able to be there to set him up to start his little snowball here. One thing to note, in the top lane, it is now a 32 CS lead in favor of Grandmaster here on Kled. So, I mean, despite the fact that Go Now player did get the first kill, Kled is still taking this right now.
Yeah, if you've been paying attention recently, he's been losing every trade in the top lane after like level 7, I believe. So I'm not surprised that there's such a big
fan. Steals the red buff away from the attempted invade. It looks like they're just getting a little bit of poke down here on Samira. Samira just over half HP. Getting plenty of poke down here. Lux needs to get out of here and just let him clear vision before she loses her life for it. And it looks like Kane's, they're pinging here. They want to go in for this gank here. They might try to go for it. Amumu and Renekton, though, collapsing on Yasuo. Rakan's going in with the ultimate. Samira now very low, trying to get out. Kane looking like he's just going to try to ult, and Kane just dies to tower.
I think Renekton and Mumu just might get double kill here if Mumu can catch them out with his ult. Oh, and there's the
lands it.
Saves the ult to get both of them. Kled's here.
They're diving the tower right now. Samira looks like she's going to go down, but she does end up getting the kill onto Ezreal. Rakan now just trying to kite around, trying to get out. Amumu looking like he might fall, but he does just barely get out. Renekton now falling low. And this is just a 1 for 2 here in favor of red side, but Mordekaiser's here.
He has ult. He could ult the Renekton here. And yep, there's the ult on the Renekton. And I don't see, he shouldn't be losing this. Yep, there you go. And now the Kled's going to die too. Blue team turned that around so hard because they overextended going for the tower dive there when instead they could have just took drag. And now they lose drag because of it.
Absolutely. This is for 4-0 Mordekaiser. This is a scary Mord. Kane now, however, catching on to this Lux here. Mordekaiser trying to make it 5, and he does not get it. It ends up going to Yogiza, but I think they are perfectly okay with that. They're going to try to take this dragon here. Intensify now back from dying. He's here, and I think they're just going to have to give this one up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually quite surprised how they turned that around. Looking at gold, it's even right now. Even though towers aren't and kills aren't. And that's probably just from the farm differences.
Looking at the map right now, in terms of a gold difference here, after that, I wouldn't be surprised if Mordekaiser now has lead in this lane despite being down so much CS.
Oh, for sure. He got the 800 gold Renekton shutdown.
Yeah, it's looking like about a 500 gold difference right now in the top lane in favor of the Mordekaiser. So, I mean, it goes to show, even though he's 4-0, Kled with his 2 assists and the CS lead, he does have, like, he is very, very close right now.
Oh, maybe they catch out the Renekton again, Renekton flash. And they give up the chase because Amumu is walking up, and Lux is there too, but Rakan followed, and I think this Lux is just getting caught out again. I mentioned it before, I thought the Lux was going to be a weak pick just from the champion itself, and that's how things is going. But now Samara's coming down, cleaning up. Amumu's going in, they're extending the fight even farther. Kled came down from the top lane, and they're just chasing the Ezreal right now. Mordekaiser is roaming on the side to help them out, and that's just a 2-for-0 coming from BSG.
Yeah, one important thing to note, nobody right now on the blue side has flash except the Rakan. So they need to play very, very safe here, because if they try to take another team fight without any of their flash summoners, it might just go poorly for them.
I agree, and it looks like mid turret's going to go down here as well, giving the red team a 2-0 advantage on turrets. And helping them build a slight gold lead, even though it's only 2k, that's pretty good for right now in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the Renekton here sitting on about just a 3 CS lead, so it's very close there, but he does still have 1100 gold over the Yasuo. Fight now breaking out over here in the top side.
Yeah, they just caught out the Amumu, who was overextending, pushing up there with only Lux to help them.
So now just trying to do a little bit of poke here to Yasuo. Kane now, he does have Rost, so Kane might start being a menace on the battlefield now. He is, however, 500 gold down from this Mumu, despite being up in kills 5-2.
Yeah, that is true, but that can be made up pretty quickly with the jungle camps.
And Yasuo just getting 1v1 from the Samira. Intensify, showing why he needs to have this champion banned out when you play against him. Renekton sitting here in a 1v2 in the bot lane against the Ezreal and Rakan. It looks like the Lux Samira are rotating down for this, but it looks like it's getting pinged out.
Yeah, but that's just a free bot turret, I think, if they don't back off. Yeah. And if they stay, they might just get killed.
Yeah, it looks like they will back off here, however. Kane in a 1v2 now over this Rift Herald. He needs to get out of here, and it looks like they might try to turn to just take this Rift Herald. Mordekaiser, however, is rotating around to this top side, and so is Rakan.
Kane is staying right now, and it looks like they're going to try to contest it. That was a good ult.
Kane does smite it, or does end up taking the Rift Herald here. Mordekaiser does ult out a Mumu away from the objective and kills him in his Death's Realm. Wow. Oh, Rakan flashing in, getting the knockup. This combo with the Yasuo. Intensify getting caught out here, trying to kite out as best he can. He might actually get out of this. Renekton going in.
I cannot believe Intensify is alive right now. Renekton is continuing the fight, just keeps on walking forward. They get another kill. Really good Lux ult there. Kane gore drinking green, all his health back, but it doesn't matter. He actually did. He barely got out with his life. The Yasuo is really low too.
And after all of that, only one person, I believe, died during that little scuffle there. I believe Mordekaiser dying right around, Mordekaiser does fall and Rakan does fall. So 2 end up falling for it. And Lamar Jackson fan club, they're just pushing down mid right now. They might be able to get this outer turret. Or inner turret, I should say.
That was a big Schmeat game, pushing down mid and against Lamar Jackson fan club.
Sorry, yes, you're right.
Yes.
My bad.
Dragon's up right now, but they're all so low that half of them are going to reset right now, but they're getting chased down mid.
Lamar Jackson fan club trying to go in on this. Yogiza does ult onto Samira, and now he's trying to get out.
Oh, he got his ride back just in time to live there. And everyone just walks out, just trading summoners.
And it does look like Lamar Jackson fan club will be able to get this dragon here, while everybody on Castroma's team will have to back here.
Well, Yogiza does not have smite, and then Mumu does, but he does not go for the steal.
Very interesting game so far. It is still about a 4K gold lead, 4.5K gold lead in favor of Red Side here, but that can swing very quickly, especially if they're able to start winning more of these team fights here. But I think they really need to play around getting picks here and not trying to fight when a Mumu is around, because a Mumu ultimate is a very powerful tool.
Yeah, for sure. Mumu's been really helpful in these team fights, getting really important ults on some of those more mobile characters.
Absolutely. One thing to note, in the mid lane, it is a nearly 2,000 gold difference in favor of the Renekton here. So, I mean, Yasuo, I don't think was the pick here, especially when Castoroma has well over 100,000 mastery on that champion. Maybe they didn't know that he played it, or maybe they were willing to take the risk there. But Go Now player, honestly, being the star of his team right now, trying to carry them.
Yeah, and it was honestly quite impressive getting like the first solo kill in the top lane and getting that 4K, 3K in the bot lane from a TP. He's been really struggling to keep the team in this.
Yeah, and it does look like Intensify and Grandmaster are pushing in the bot lane right now. Yasuo trying to rotate over to stop his tower from going down, but I don't think he'll be able to stop them here. Rift Herald does get dropped topside, though. However, I don't think it's going to be able to get anything here. Castrom is here to clear it out.
Must be just ran out of time. But they're just applying a lot of map pressure right now. I think Red Team definitely will stay in the lead, and unless they get some major mistakes going, I don't really see them losing the match right now.
Absolutely. I think the important thing right now for BSG is they need to make sure that they have vision control, because I think the one thing that will screw them over at this point now is just giving up kills and getting caught out from lack of vision. It is still 5 towers to none in favor of BSG. So I think what Lamar Jackson fan club really needs to focus on doing right now is trying to knock down these outer towers here and try to open up the map a little bit for them so they have room to breathe.
Well, for sure. I just want to mention that now Yasuo is at 100% crit. He just hit that power spike, so maybe it'll be a little more useful in these team fights going forward.
Absolutely. I think the important thing right now is that he needs to make sure that he avoids getting caught from this Renekton.
Yeah, I do believe that Renekton is a counter pick to Yasuo, but he didn't even get any kills. He only died once to Yasuo solo. The Renekton just roamed, and that's how he really got fed.
Absolutely. It's very unfortunate for the Yasuo. It's one of those things where you don't necessarily give up all the kills in your laner, but he still ends up getting fed from just being able to make plays elsewhere. So it does look like they're trying to split push here. Renekton trying to split push the top lane, while majority of the team is pushing that mid lane. Kayn, however, in the bot side right now, and Renekton just still sitting here keeping the pressure up. Looks like they are rotating now around top side, trying to knock out this tower.
Yeah, blue team's counter-rotating, and if blue team's going to get there before red team is, Kled is just pushing mid, trying to apply some pressure. Oh, maybe he can catch... They might be able to catch out the Kayn here, but no, Kled just chooses to go back mid. He can't make a decision with his own. The team fight's already started.
The Mumu R would go down. I don't know if it actually hit anybody here, but I don't think it matters. BSG is just chasing them down here, but they do have to back off because this tower does hurt. Allowing it to stack up the damage there, and 2 go down for Lamar Jackson fan club, and only Intensify goes down for BSG. So honestly, I would say that trade right there actually kind of favors Lamar Jackson fan club here. Even though 2 players did die, them getting any kind of gold here is important for them to be able to come back into this game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There, honestly, the gold gap has not changed. If anything, it's only getting smaller right now. It became a 5K, now it's only 4K. So they're really like pushing and struggling, trying to get back in this game. They're not giving up.
Absolutely, and Kane does have a level lead right now over the Amumu. And one thing to note is I do believe that Lamar Jackson Fan Club's team does scale just a little bit better over BSG. Renekton does fall off late game. I believe Kled is still fairly useful, but they're really relying on Intensify to be the beast that he needs to be in these team fights, and Amumu to be able to land clean ultimates here. Otherwise, this Yasuo, if he's allowed to continue to scale up, he can become a menace, and so does Mordekaiser here. Looks like they are trying to take the Mountain Dragon here. They are positioned here to possibly try to steal. Looks like Kane does jump in a little bit early. He does try to get it, but he does not, and he will go down for it. He uses his ultimate, and he is down from Intensify, and Intensify ending up cleaning up Yasuo too. Not worth everybody else jumping in there. I don't know what they were thinking. I think the only person who had to try to commit to the pit there was Yogiza. But even then, it was only the second dragon. I mean, I feel like they could have just gave that one up and tried to play around the Baron, but now it looks like Baron's just going to go down for free.
I completely agree with you there. I don't think that anyone else needed to jump in. One question. So, do you think if Renekton went Gore Drinker instead of Eclipse, that he wouldn't fall off as hard going later into the game?
Absolutely. Gore Drinker is more focused around team fighting for Renekton. Eclipse gives you a lot more pick potential, but the healing and the sustain that Gore Drinker provides for Renekton allows him to be able to get multiple rotations off on his abilities and be able to just be more useful in late game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I think that since Renekton's so far ahead, that's why he chose to go for Eclipse in this situation instead, and it's really not showing to be an issue right now. But if this game keeps going on farther, I think it will really bite him in the back.
Absolutely. I mean, he still has a 2-level lead, or sorry, now 1-level lead. Lamar Jackson fan did just level up. I think where we're really going to start to see it fall off is when Yasuo hits 16, because at that point, Renekton won't be nearly as strong. Looks like they are trying to get a fight here onto the Kled. Kled now forced out of Skarl, and they do get the kill. Dies. Yasuo does die though for it. Oh, Amumu's here now. He does use his ultimate. Doesn't really get anything from it. Lamar Jackson Fan Club is here to try to get the counter engage, but they will not be able to. Meanwhile, their base is getting sieged. They need to get back here. I think Amumu should just try to keep them here because he is quite tanky. I don't think they have kill pressure on him, especially not with ultimates on the Rakan. So they are sieging this, looking like bottom inhib might fall here. Renekton might be overstaying a little bit. Rakan kind of engaging onto him. Mordekaiser now trying to hit him. Rotation coming out from Samira and Lux.
Yeah, that team definitely just needs to back off here. Amumu could have tried to start back there, I agree with you, but it looks like instead he's just going for the counter invade. And there's no really objectives up right now. They're just trying to take advantage of Baron while they still have it, but with only 3 members versus their 5, it's really risky to stay here.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the choice to counter jungle right now, especially in the current game state with Baron. I think Amumu really should have been pushing that top lane in and trying to keep the pressure up. Instead, it does allow Lamar Jackson Fan Club to defend this siege a little bit better, only losing 1 hit so far. Amumu did proxy the wave now, and Kled is pushing it in. So they might try to look at trying to get this top tower here and maybe trying to get 3 inhibs. Looks like the mid inhib might fall here.
Yo, he's getting caught out, but he just walks out. While that happens, I think mid tower might fall, but they don't have Baron wave because Kled dies. Renekton's getting caught out. He goes back.
Does go down. Samira with a huge ultimate here, and almost everybody's dead here. Oh my goodness, Kane just popping off, trying to make what he can happen. Kled now just sitting here taking this top inhib, and that right there is a 2 for 4. Heavily in favored of BSG here.
And I just want to say that Kled wasn't even in that fight. That was a 4v5, and they still won. That's how far ahead they were.
Absolutely insane, and that looks like that's going to just be the game here. just taking the Nexus Tower. Looked like a 30-minute game, 21-17, and a nearly 10,000 gold lead. Very impressive first game from BSG here.
For sure, for sure. And a lot of those players we were talking about earlier, the Samara and the Renekton, really just showed up that match and were able to basically steamroll the entire enemy team.
Alrighty here. So looking at the damage charts, Samira with the top DPS, I wouldn't have expected anything less. The way Intensify was playing in a lot of these team fights, he was playing very clean and somehow managing to just stay alive. Very well done from him today.
For sure.
Is there anybody specific here that you want to interview here?
From the winning team, I really either want to interview Castoroma or the ADC. I did not catch the name of Intensify. Either one of those players both had a really good performance.
Okay. So, looks like we do have Castoroma in here. So, Castoroma, tell us, Renekton into Yasuo, were you expecting them to lock in the Yasuo there?
Yeah. After our team reviews, we figured he was going to shoot for the Yasuo. So we had the Renekton in the back pocket ready to roll.
Gotcha. And did you think that they would have expected a Renekton counterpick there? I mean, you do have over 100,000 mastery on the champion.
I mean, I haven't played him too much recently. I think I played like one game with him a few days ago, but I really don't play Renekton too much anymore. But pretty simple champion. I think once you get the mastery down, it just kind of sticks. So no, I don't think they were prepared for it. But I mean, there's a lot of other things they could have done to, I don't know, prepare or make it a little better even with the Renekton counter pick.
How do you feel about being triple banned this game against the enemy team?
I don't know. I guess we're just kind of used to it at this point. I mean, I think everyone on our team's got a lot of threats, so just gotta try to figure out what's strong for them, what's and what they could ban from us to get the dub. So didn't work out this time. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. One quick question. So we did notice that you did go with the Eclipse option as your mythic item. Did at any point you ever consider possibly going for Gore Drinker here?
I haven't played with Gore Drinker enough. I mean, I know it's considered pretty good right now. I mean, it is one of the recommended items. I just was, I guess, going for like a stronger damage build. From what I've seen from Gore Drinker, I guess it's not as damage oriented as the lethality, and I knew I was going to be getting in a lot of skirmishes, and I just felt like the Eclipse was the play.
Absolutely. Was there any surprise performances out of the enemy team that you noticed during the game?
Surprise performances?
Like anybody that you weren't expecting to do well, or anybody that just overperformed your expectations?
I mean, I guess no flame or anything, but I don't think really anyone really stepped up in my mind that game.
Gotcha. Understandable. Anybody from your own team that you think played really well today?
I mean, I think my entire team held their own, but I mean, it's no surprise. Intensify really put the damage on his back and just started shredding through those team fights. Um, and then special shout out to my jungler, first time a Moo. But I guess that shows how strong the champ is right now and how well it synergized with our team to set it up so that we could get in those big fights.
Absolutely. So you said he was a first time Amumu, and we did notice in the very early game they did try to go for that early invade on the red buff, and it didn't work out. Were you at all concerned that your jungler might not have had the best game after the very slow start that he had?
No. I mean, he he knew to get back in his jungle and to start pathing properly. When Kane went to take his red, we were there to stop it. Like we knew what was going to happen because of it, and we were able to play around that and make sure that he stayed on his feet.
Absolutely. Anyways, well, congratulations on the 1-0 start in the league. Congratulations on your performance today. You performed absolutely fantastic on the Renekton. Wouldn't have expected anything less, and
Thank
hope
you.
to see more from you going forward.
Definitely will.
All right, Lamar Jackson. So, tell us, Yasuo, were you expecting the Renekton counter pick?
Nope. Probably should have picked Yone before. I mean, they didn't give me. They didn't ban Yasuo or Yone in the first ban phase. So, probably should have picked Yone there. But that was just a that's frustrating game overall. Not much you can do. I mean, I was CC locked the entire game.
Yeah, very understandable. Did it at all frustrate you when Renekton started roaming and started picking up kills outside of your lane, or did you try to keep a clear mental?
Really, don't think that was the issue. The issue was just the counter pick. I mean, Amumu's strong champion, Samira's strong champion, and Renekton counters me. And honestly, one of my biggest weaknesses as a player is high CC uh, team comps. So gonna need to learn to play against that.
Absolutely. Knowing that you were going to be facing a high CC team comp, did you at all consider possibly building a QSS this game?
Well, I didn't actually expect them to pick high CC. You know, we scouted their champions and we expected them to play their mains. So we banned out the champions they played in the solo queue, but they just went with the Amumu and Renekton high CC pick. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I do know as a top lane main myself is that Kled is a very strong champion right now and has very few counter matchups. Were you surprised at how well Mordekaiser did holding his own against the Kled?
Yeah, the game plan going in was just farm and not die. He did get a good triple kill bot lane. For most of the game, we're trying to figure out if he should be ulting the Samira just to take her out of the fight, or should he be ulting Amumu because of his. I mean, that ult is just disgusting with Sunfire Aegis. Really hard to play against. But he did pretty well. I mean, the loss was on me. My fault. I played terrible. I hadn't practiced much prior to the game, so I mean, the entire game my mechanics were off. Going forward, I'm definitely going to be practicing a lot more. Definitely want to avenge this loss sometime later in the season. Got to make sure that the other team remembers this, and when we'll remember this, we'll make sure they remember it too.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear that. One quick question before we wrap things up here. Your Kayn, they did try to invade your jungler very early on his red buff, and it ended up putting the other team's jungler very behind and having a very slow start. Were you at all concerned, or not necessarily concerned, but were you expecting them to try to go for something like that? And how did you feel about your jungler getting such a strong head start?
So I see Amumu, I see Lux, and then I told the entire team in Champ Select, we're going to 5-point. And so we did, and then Rakan saw them all coming. So I was prepared for that. I warded the red and left because I expected them to take it. The Lux ran a sweeper, but she missed my ward. I don't recall. I don't think he was that far behind, honestly. But you know, it doesn't really matter. It's a Mumu. He's a strong pick. All he has to do is, I mean, farm and then, you know, team fight. I mean, even if he's behind, like, he can just ult, stun someone.
Absolutely. Going forward, what do you think your team needs to change in order to be able to find more success, or at least at the very least, show that why you guys are going to be a playoff contender this season?
Well, like I said, that loss was on me, 100% me. Everyone else did fantastic. Applaud them for that, but I just did terrible. So for me, I'm probably going to have to expand my champion pool a bit, be prepared for the counter picks. But you know, going forward, that's what we're gonna do. We want to make the playoffs. We want to win. And like I said, I'm a very competitive person. I don't like losing at all. I mean, this loss was terrible. I'll definitely be spending next week practicing, but like I said, they're gonna remember this.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, unfortunate start to the season for Lamar Jackson fan club, but we do hope to see you guys bounce back. In the meantime, I would absolutely love to see what you bring out next week if you do plan on expanding your champion pool. So good luck in your guys' future endeavors, and hopefully we see you guys come back.
All right.
All right. So that
Deontay
match
Pratt.
was really exciting. Both those teams were playing really well in the early game, while Lamar Jackson fan club did fall behind a little towards the end game. It was still a really competitive match. So that's what we expect from these teams, and that's what you should expect going forward for this league. Please do follow the channel, and we're trying to hit affiliates, so the more followers will get better. Share the stream, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time with our next match.
Feels right when it's wrong. I've stayed here too long, but something brings me back to you. I swear we belong. I'm still hanging on, but something brings me back to you. Back to you, 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 you. Back to you, back to you, back to you, back to you. Feels right when it's wrong. I've stayed here too long, but something brings me back to you. I swear we belong. I'm still hanging on, but something brings me back to you. Back to you, back to you.